Yes.
Hare Krishna, welcome, Kamaji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Okay, so you're going to participate in Gita temple.
Gita?
Gita temple.
Gita Jayanti will happen, no?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're going to participate in that?
Actually, we would like to sell some Gita books here only, in our complex.
Yes.
So I will get it from the...
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Last year also we did the same. Yes.
Very good, very good. Please do. Okay. There is some disturbance background. Okay. Janardhan ji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
All well?
Yeah, well, Prabhuji.
Very good, very good.
Thank you.
Shobha ji, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Not muted.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. How is the reading of Gita going?
Going on.
Going on. Okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Mataji, Hare Krishna. Dear Krishna, Prabhu. Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Bhumika ji, Hare Krishna. Sushila ji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I'm connecting from my phone today,
Okay.
but I'm attending the class because I'm not at home.
Okay, okay. Fine. Good, good. Viswas ji, Hare Krishna. Okay. Let's begin our session with praise to Prabhupada and Lord Krishna and continue our discussions. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Bracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra ki jai Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So before we begin, I strongly recommend that you have your copy of Bhagavad Gita as it is in front of you. Today mostly it will be referring the verses as I am reading. And you should be having the copy of yours in front of you so that it will be easy for you to relate what I am talking. Otherwise, I'll be talking and you'll be not able to connect. Okay. So we are discussing from Bhagavad Gita chapter 10 as Vibhuti Yoga or opulence of the absolute. So far, we have 18 verses in which Krishna is giving more confidential knowledge, much more confidential than what he has spoken so far. 9th chapter was called most confidential, but Krishna is going to reveal some more confidential aspects about himself. Why? Because Krishna wants his devotee Arjuna to know more about him. To know more about Krishna, a devotee becomes more fixed in service to Krishna. That's the Krishna wants us. Krishna is revealing more confidential aspects about his existence. And Krishna says, whatever you are seeing in this material world, different manifestations, different qualities, different living entities, different sages, all are emanating from him. He speaks 4 important verses or 4 essential verses known as Chatushloki Gita, verses 8 to 11, wherein Krishna is describing, first of all, about our relation with him, or anything in the material world is related to him as his emanation, his energy. All the things in the material and spiritual world are emanating from Krishna only. So everybody has to devote to him actually, in one sense, because he is the origin. And the pure devotees, knowing this truth, they completely engage in Majjitta Matgata Prana. Their minds are completely absorbed in remembering Krishna. Lives are devoted to Krishna's service, and they are engaged in discussing about Krishna amongst other devotees. In this way, they take great pleasure. And Krishna also reciprocates with them by giving such devotees directions within their hearts as super soul, and giving them proper intelligence to come towards Krishna, and he will shine knowledge within their hearts and remove all the ignorance, and it enlighten the devotees, completely make them fully knowledgeable with regard to whatever is needed to move forward in the journey of spiritual progress. Right? This much when Krishna revealed about his confidential aspects between him and devotees, Arjuna, understanding Krishna's position, he started offering wonderful prayers. Right? He was praying that Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan. He confirmed Krishna's supremacy. Not only he was telling that I am confirming this, Krishna, all the great personalities like Asita, Devala, Narada, Vyasa, even great sages also confirm this about your supremacy. Nobody knows you, and the great sages don't know, even Devatas don't know. What about demons? And what about our ordinary living entities like us? So I accept whatever you're telling as truth. Only you can know by yourself. Basically, Arjuna wanted to tell how Krishna is limitless. Krishna is, all-pervading. And specifically, Arjuna is submitting one request to Arjuna is submitting the request to Lord Krishna that I want to know more about your divine opulences. Divyahi Atma Vibhutayaha, by which you are pervading, all pervading. Krishna has given some indications and some explanations in the previous chapters, but now he wants to know more. Why? Because for the sake of common people. Because something which is very practical for me, I'm seeing many, many wonderful, glorious, splendorous manifestations around me. How can I relate them as Krishna's manifestation? So Arjuna specifically is representing a common man and wanting to ask Krishna to speak more about Krishna's all-pervasiveness, where everywhere he's present in different ways. How to see you? Wherever I see, I should see Krishna. That is Arjuna's intention. Because right now, the common man who is a materialist or who is completely absorbed in activities concerning gratifying the senses is not spiritually so advanced. Right? So, Arjuna's question is to ask Krishna to tell more glories about him in the material world, so that people can focus their minds on physical things. How Krishna is manifested in physical manifestations. That was the understanding. And Arjuna expressed his eagerness by telling that, yes, I'm not tired of hearing your glories. Please describe them nicely. Right? So when this much was spoken by Arjuna, now Krishna starts describing. So I request all of you to refer verse 19 onwards. We will be covering 19 up to 31 today. Okay. So from this section of Bhagavad Gita, from actually verse 20 onwards up to verse 39, Krishna is going to delineate around 80 different opulences. Okay, 80 different ways. He says, I am this, I am that. All the glorious, all the wonderful, all the splendorous, all the beautiful manifestations is I am, Krishna says, in different ways. A similar explanation we get in Bhagavatam, when there is a portion of Bhagavatam known as Uddhava Gita, 11th canto. Similarly, Krishna describes to Uddhava about his vibhutis. Just like Bhagavad Gita is having 18 chapters, but Uddhava Gita is having 23 chapters in Bhagavata. 11th canto, almost 11th canto is having that description. Same, but more detailed explanation of some more yoga systems are given in that section of Bhagavata. So, Vibhuti Yoga basically means how to see everything around us and connect them or see that as manifestation of Krishna or energy of Krishna. Nothing is independently existing. Just like people nowadays want to go for a tour or a trip, travel, oh, very beautiful scenic place. There's a nice beach, ocean. It's a nice, mountains, hill station, or very, scenic forest. And these people want to, go and see beautiful things because that is the inner hankering of everybody, that they want to see, beautiful things, scenic things that will give them happiness. So Krishna is telling, whatever glorious and splendorous manifestations you see in this world is actually my energy. That is the conclusion of this chapter. Okay, that he will say towards the end of this chapter. But 19th verse, Krishna says, Shri Bhagavanu Vacha, Hantate Kathayishyami Divya hi Atma Vibhutayah Pradhanyatah Kurushreshta Nastyanto Vistarasya me. The blessed Lord said, yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations. But only of those which are prominent. Why? Because my opulence, Arjuna, is limitless. Krishna is called Ananta. He is unlimited. His glories are unlimited. His activities are unlimited. Unlimited means you cannot count. You cannot, just like even incarnations of Krishna are unlimited. Bhagavata gives an example of, you stand on the ocean, beach of the ocean, and go on counting the waves from morning till evening. Can you count? No, it's unlimited. Goes on, never ending. That Krishna's incarnations are unlimited. Krishna's leelas are unlimited. Krishna's forms are unlimited. Krishna's everything is unlimited. So Krishna says, all the splendorous manifestations, I'm going to give you a little indication. It's like in a big, bowl of rice you're boiling. You don't want to check every grain of the rice, if it is cooked or not. You just take one grain and check. Like that, Krishna is going to give us a sample of his wonderful manifestations. And from this, we can understand how great and how glorious he is. Ananta means unlimited. Krishna is always called Ananta. Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Anantrupam. Okay. So, basically, Krishna knows our limitation. Just like in your room, if there is a small ant, that ant will be just limited to one space in that room. It will not know that in your room there is a big, television kept. There are so many other gadgets kept, and you are sitting in a big sofa. All that, how will it, comprehend? It is beyond its comprehension. Likewise, we are very tiny, limited. So to comprehend the greatness of Krishna is beyond our limitation. Krishna's opulences are unlimited. His greatness is unlimited. There is only one small universe we are living. It's considered to be the smallest universe in the whole creation, material world. There are unlimited universes. Right? This is the understanding Bhagavata gives. So, we have limitation with regard to our senses, our understanding, and if we act or if we think that I know everything, as Prabhupada gives the example of Dr. Frog. Dr. Frog was born and brought up in a 3-foot well. But when a frog from one big ocean came and fell accidentally, started conversing and asked the ocean frog, where are you from? I am from the ocean. What is ocean? I never heard. Ocean is a huge, vast body of water. So this frog in the well started comparing. maybe that ocean is 2 times this well. The ocean frogs are telling, no, it is many times. Many times bigger. Can't compare. Maybe 3 times, 4 times. So like this, we start comparing Krishna's energies, Krishna's opulences with regard to our own limited understanding. We will become Dr. Frog. So we would never compare that way. So, one sense we cannot understand Krishna, but Krishna being very merciful, because for devotees, hearing more about Krishna, Krishna would like to. That's the reason he's speaking from 10th chapter onwards, more glories about himself. So he's revealing to devotees because devotees relish to hear about Krishna more and more. Right? Prabhupada says, in discussing Krishna's opulences and his diverse energies, the pure devotees take transcendental pleasure. That's the reason. So now Krishna is specifically telling, I am going to tell you prominent things. Pradhanyataha. Very prominent, very important things only I'm going to tell you. From that you should understand. Rest of the things you should just understand with these examples. Okay. So like this, Krishna is talking about his vibhuti. Atma vibhutayaha. Right? Prabhupada explains. Vibhuti means the opulences by which he controls the whole manifestation. His energies, his powers, his various manifestations. Just like when you say, some rich man, how opulent he is. He's having 50 cars. He's having 10 bungalows. He's having big business, opulence. How he's controlling the whole, his whole empire. That is called opulence. Right? So, Krishna's opulences are unlimited and beyond our imagination. Right? In the 9th chapter, if you see, specifically, Krishna mentioned Yoga Maishwaram. His opulences are inconceivable. Right? Maya ratam idam sarvam jagadam yakta murtina. In the next verse, Krishna said that his opulences are Yoga Maishwaram. Right? Mitatatmasthani bhutani pashyami Yoga Maishwaram. So his opulences are inconceivable. Vibhuti. So, like Krishna, you want to describe for us as common men how we can see Krishna in every aspect. Okay, so let's begin. The first verse, 20th verse, is telling Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutashaya Stitaha Aham Adishcha Madhyam Cha Bhutanam Ant Evacha. Is addressing Arjuna as Gudakesha. Gudakesha means one who has conquered darkness of sleep or ignorance. Arjuna is a pure devotee. He is not ignorant like us. Right? He is above ignorance. That's why Krishna is chosen him as a recipient of Bhagavad Gita knowledge. So those who are still in the ignorance, means who are still thinking that this material world is all in all, I am this body, everybody is body, he cannot understand about Krishna. He has to awaken. Jeev jago, go rathanda bole. We are all sleeping on the lap of Maya. We have to awaken to spiritual understanding. So Krishna is addressing Arjuna as Gudakesha. First opulence is sitting in everybody's heart as Paramatma. Sarva bhutashe stita. Aham Atma Gudakesha. I am the super soul in everybody's body. He is the source of the soul, our soul, and also a super soul is sitting. So basically, elsewhere in the Bhagavata and other scriptures, Krishna is known as Vishwatma. Because of the presence of our body is working, animating. The soul leaves the body is dead and useless. Right? Likewise, because the Paramatma, super soul, is present in this whole universe is moving. This world is called Jagat. Jagat means that which is constantly moving, changing. Just like sun is rising, sun is setting, seasons are changing. So many different aspects are happening continuously. If you get some details of astrophysics and other phenomena happening according to science, are constantly changing, moving configurations. So who is moving? Who is doing that? Krishna is doing that as Super Soul, Paramatma. Because Krishna is, all this is happening. So the first opulence of Krishna is, he is present as the Atma. Every living entity is also the Atma, Vishwatma, for the whole universe. And secondly, Krishna says, Adishcha Madhyam cha Bhutanam Anta Evacha. I am the beginning, I am the middle, I am the end of all beings. This very creation, this material world, how it has begun. Description is there in the Bhagavatam. When Krishna desired that this material world has to be created, he is one expansion known as Mahavishnu. Right? Krishna's expansion known as Purusha avatars. One of them is called Mahavishnu. He was lying down in one corner of the spiritual sky, and from his body, skin pores, lot of universes started emanating. Mahavishnu's body. And in each universe, again, this Vishnu expanded, Mahavishnu expanded as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. Right? Every universe has one Garbhodakashayi Vishnu lying on the Garbhodaka ocean. That is the perspiration of Vishnu's body only. And from his navel, a big lotus stem comes out. On top of the lotus flower, Brahma is born. The stem of the lotus is what? Is the 14 planetary systems. And again, this Vishnu expands as Shirodakashaya Vishnu, Paramatma, and enters into every atom and every living entity. Just see. So, in that way, Krishna, in his one of his expansions, he is the beginning of the universe. He is maintaining the universe, and his expansion as Lord Shiva, he will annihilate or he will wind up everything. That's why he is known as the beginning, the middle, and the end. Very important. Second opulence. Opulence number 2. Okay. So first opulence is his Atma. For every living entity, and Vishwatma. Whole universe is the Atma. Second is, he is the beginning, middle, and end. Aham adirihi madhyam cha. Like in Srirangapatna. There is something known as Adiranga, Madhyaranga, and Anthyaranga. Ranganatha is lying down. Right? Lord Ranganatha. Ranganatha is nothing but, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. Lord Ranganatha is Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. That's why from his navel, you see the lotus flower and lotus stem, Brahma. Ranganatha is Lord Vishnu. Right? He is the beginning. So, Lord Krishna's one expansion is doing this activity. Purusha Avatar. Okay. Next. Verse number 21. Adityanam aham Vishnur Jyotisham Raviramshuman Marichir Marutam Asmi Nakshatranam aham Shashi. Now, Krishna is telling, of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. There were so many daughters of Diti. 60 daughters of Diti. Again, one more story it is. The 60 daughters of Daksha, sorry. When creation has to progress, Daksha created many important personalities known as Prajapatis. We have understood this in the 7th verse of this chapter. Right? 7th verse, what did Krishna say? 6th verse, not 7th, 6th verse. Maharshaya saptapurve chatvara manavasatha madbhava manasa jata yesham loka ima prajaha. So, in order to populate this world, Brahma created rishis and prajapatis and Manu. So, these prajapatis, their whole work is to increase praja. So, one of the prajapatis' name is Daksha. He had 60 daughters. Among the 60 daughters, one was called Diti, one more was called Aditi. All the sons of Aditi are called Adityas. They are all Devatas. Okay. And the sons of Diti are called Daityas. or Danavas or Asuras, atheistic. Okay. So in this description of what Krishna is going to tell us now, all of, Purana, Bhagavata, Vedic literature's information is there. Carefully you have to understand this. So when Krishna is telling Adityanam Aham Vishnur, he is referring to the 12 Adityas, sons of Diti. Right? Aditi. Aditi's husband's name is Kashyapa. Right? So Kashyapa and Aditi had 12 sons. One of them was Vamana Deva. So when Krishna is telling, I am that Vishnu, he is referring to that Vamana incarnation. Adityanam Aham Vishnu. Jyotisham Raviramshuman. In this world, we see the most luminous or the brightest object. What is that? Sun. Krishna says, I am that. I am that sun. Of the luminaries, I am the effulgent sun. In the Brahma Samhita, Brahmaji says, Yat chakshuresh savita sakalagrahanam raja samasta sarvamurti ashesha tejaha. Brahma says, the sun and the moon are the two eyes of the Supreme Lord. Which means, sun is not independent. It is one of the, devatas. He is one of the devatas under control of Krishna only. And Yat chakshuresh savita. Savita means sun. Chakshu means eyes. He is the eyes of Krishna. And he is moving in orbit as per Krishna's order. Krishna says, I am that. So when you see sun, you should see Krishna. Oh, Krishna's manifestation. Marichir marutam asmi. Bhagavatam describes there are 49 different kinds of air moving around. They're called maruts. Right? They're occupying different spaces. So among these 49 maruts, Marichi is controlling deity of the heavenly space. He's one of the chief maruts. Right? Marut. So, Marichir Marutam Asmi, which means there's so many different types of devatas. Actually, 10th and 11th chapter is going to give us a wonderful description of this whole universe, in the world, material world. What is all it is about. We are only seeing, some buildings, some cars and some cities here. But much beyond, so many things are there. There are 49 different kinds of maruts. And Marichi is the chief among them. And there are so many stars in the sky. Krishna says, among them the brightest star is moon. Nakshatranam aham shashi. Right? Among the stars, I am the brightest or the prominent one in night. I am that moon, Chandra. Right? So like this, Krishna is telling 4 more opulences of his. Text number 22nd. Vedanam samavedosmi, devanam asmi vasavaha, indriyanam manaschasmi, bhutanam asmi chetana. Of the Vedas, I am the Samaveda. Of the demigods, I am Indra. Of the senses, I am the mind. And in living beings, I am the living force, knowledge. Right? Among the 4 Vedas, Sama, Rig, Yajur, Atharva, Samaveda is considered to be the prominent one because it is having very wonderful poetic description about the Supreme Lord's glorification. Right? Similar description we had in the 9th chapter also about Samaveda. So, Krishna says, among the Vedas, 4 Vedas, the Samaveda, I am the best. Means Krishna is trying to tell us the best, the most prominent, the most splendorous, the most greatest, most wonderful thing I am. And among Devatas, the Devata head, who is Devata's head? He is Indra, Devraj Indra, right? Devanam asmi vasavaha. I am the Indra among the demigods. And in our body, the senses are there. Senses is controlled by mind. That mind I am, Krishna says. In fact, Bhagavatam explains the mind is incarnated from Krishna's one expansion known as Aniruddha. Like this, there are many descriptions in Bhagavatam. You should carefully go through. In fact, every sense of our body is controlled by a devata. And the mind is a manifestation of Aniruddha. That's why when you fix mind on Krishna, automatically the other senses gets controlled. Right? So Krishna says, I am that mind. And in the living beings, Krishna says, what is the most important part of a living being? Chetana. Chetana means consciousness, the living force. Right? Prabhupada explains how the difference between matter and spirit. Matter is dead and dull. Spirit is conscious. Right? So consciousness discriminates or distinguishes a living person and a dead person. Right? And this consciousness is a symptom of soul. The modern day science or some transcendentalists or spiritualists say, at a mature combination of matter, material elements, consciousness develops. That is not correct. Prabhupada always said, life comes from life. Life doesn't come from matter. Right? Life comes from life. And Prabhupada always challenged. If scientists say life is coming from matter, let them all get to some all chemicals, what is there in this body, mix everything and generate life. Not possible. So consciousness is a production of, or is a symptom of the soul. It's not a production of matter. Very important. Next, 23rd verse. Rudranam Shankaraschasmi Vittesho Yaksha Rakshasam Vasunam Pavakaschasmi Meruhu Shikharinam Aham. Krishna says, of all the Rudras, I am Shiva. There are 11 Rudras, right, managing this whole universe. And among them, the chief is called Lord Shiva, Shankara, right, predominant. So he is in charge of the Tamoguna in this whole creation. The three modes. Among them, Tamoguna in charge is Lord Shiva. The passion is controlled by Brahma. And Vishnu controls goodness. Basically, all of them are again manifestation of Krishna's expansions only. And next, Vittesho Yaksha Rakshasam. Among the Yakshas and Rakshasas, again, one more category of Devatas. Right? They are known as one type of demigods. They are amongst them, Kuvera is the chief, treasurer of demigods, right? He is the chief. Vittesho Yaksharakshasam. And Vasunam Pavakaschasmi. And among the fire, I am the Vasu. I am fire, Krishna says. Right? Like this, Krishna goes on to explain. Meru Shikharinam. There are so many mountains, big, huge mountains. Meru mountain is one of the mountains. In Vedic times, mountains could fly. Right? Mountains had wings. So Meru is one such mountain which is very, very much referred in the Vedic literatures. It is rich with natural resources, and that represents Krishna. Meru mountain. Right? Very, a lot of in different scriptures mention is there about Meru mountain. Right? So like this, anything very glorious, splendorous, wonderful, beautiful, mighty manifestation, Krishna says, I am that. Right? So amongst the fire, Vasu, I am that, Krishna says. Of the Vasus, I am Agni, Krishna says. Different, Devatas of Agni, Devatas are there. Chief is called Vasu. Next, text number 24. Purodasam cha mukhyam mam vidhi partha brahaspatim senaninam aham skandaha sarasam asmi sagaraha. Of Purodasam means of all the different pujaris, priests. The chief priest, Brahaspati, I am that. Because Indra is considered to be the king of all Devatas. And in his kingdom, heavenly kingdom, Brahaspati is the priest for Indra or his kingdom. He is considered the chief of all priests, Mukhya Pujari, right? He is the chief advisor and he is the chief priest. Brahaspati's name you would have heard. He is very intelligent. Then Senaninam Aham Skandaha. among the commanders in chief, commander in chief, I am Skanda. Skanda is Kartikeya, son of Shiva and Parvati. He is always in the forefront whenever there is a Asuras and Devatas Yuddha goes on. He is always in the forefront. Skanda, right, or Kartikeya. And among the vast bodies of water, Krishna says, I am the ocean. Right? Like this, see how many things Krishna has already mentioned. We already discussed about 2 plus 16 items now. 18 items. 18 opulences Krishna has described already. Right? So like this, Krishna goes on with 25th verse. Maharshinam bhruguraham giram asmekam aksharam yajnanam japayagyosmi sthavaranam himalaya. It's an important verse. So Krishna says, of the great sages, I am Bhrugu. There are many, many sages are there. Among them, the greatest sage is called Bhrugu Muni. Right? So, as I told you, Brahma, in the beginning of creation, he created many rishis and prajapatis for populating this universe. So, the most powerful of his sons is called Bhrugu Muni. He is one of the great sages, one of the greatest sages. And Krishna says, Giram asya ekam aksharam. Giram means vibration. Of all the vibrations, I am Omkara. It is the greatest vibration. The topmost vibration. Giram asya ekam aksharam. About Omkara, Krishna has explained in 7th chapter, 8th chapter, 9th chapter. Now 10th chapter again is repeating. It's like this. Omkara means, actually Om means, oh my God. Om means, oh my God. He is addressing. So in that way, it is not very specifically telling about one personality, Krishna. Generally speaking, oh my God. That's all. So, but based on your realization, your advancement, your maturity, you'll understand who's that God. Right? So that's why people who are less advanced in spiritual understanding, at least you utter Omkara. You advance spiritually. Right? And Prabhupada says, Hare Krishna mantra has already Omkara in it. You do not separately. Sometimes one person asked, so Prabhupada, should we chant Hare Krishna separately, Omkara separately? No. Hare Krishna already has Omkara. That's why Hare Krishna is called Maha Mantra. It has all the different mantras. Sometimes people say, Prabhuji, I want to chant that mantra, this mantra, Maha Mrityunjay mantra, this mantra. Prabhupada said, all the mantras are in Hare Krishna. What is Krishna? Krishna is Aham Sarvasya Prabhavaha. That's why Krishna says next, Yajnanam Japa Yagyosmi. Of all the different Japa Yajnas, I am that my chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is the highest. Very important statement Krishna is telling here. I am the chanting of the holy names, Japa. Which means, you are chanting Hare Krishna, that is the highest. There is a reference here in Bhagavad Gita, you see, Krishna is telling. Now I will chant this mantra also, that mantra also. Everything is in Hare Krishna. You simply chant Hare Krishna, everything you will get. Very important revelation and realization Krishna is giving us here in this particular part of this Bhagavad Gita. Right? We have to see from this point of view, because it's a very important statement Krishna is making. Yajnanam japa yagyosmi. Then sthavaranam himalayaha. Right? There is one mountain, Himalaya mountain, which is immobile. It's very huge. Among the sthavara. Sthavara means which is going to be fixed up and not moving, immobile. Whereas Meru mountain, as I told you, it flies. Just like even the Govardhana mountain in Braja Kshetra, it was somewhere earlier. It flew and came there. Came here actually for a different pastime. It was brought here. So in that way, mountains fly. Right? We have not heard this, but it is a Vedic understanding. Vedas, scriptures mention this. Vedas also have wings. Okay, they're also living entities. So the immovable mountain, just like trees are immovable, likewise, there are some mountains immovable. One of the tallest and the greatest mountain is Himalayas. Right? So Krishna says, I am that Himalaya. Sthavaranam Himalaya, which means Himalaya was existing from time immemorial. Not that it is just existing recently. People have gone to Mount Everest, they have discovered something. No. It is there always. Okay? That way. Next, 26th verse. Ashwatta sarva vrikshanam devarshinam ja naradaha gandharvanam chitarataha siddhanam kapilo munihi. Krishna says, amongst all the trees, I am the Ashwatta Vriksha. The holy fig tree or the holy banyan tree. Why? Because according to scriptures, the banyan tree, Vata Vriksha, Ashwatta Vriksha, is worshipable. Amongst the different recommendations given by the Acharyas and the scriptures, you have to worship. One of the items of worship is Ashwatta Vriksha, as Krishna says here. So among all the trees, the Ashwatta Vriksha or the banyan tree, Vata Vriksha, is considered to be very sacred. Krishna says, I am that tree. If you have gone to Jagannath Puri, there is a Vata Vriksha in the campus. Having a Vata Vriksha or the Ashwatta Vriksha, anywhere, seeing that, you should remember Krishna. Oh, Krishna says, I am that. Okay. And amongst the Devarishis, Devarishi, Devatas and the sages, Narada Muni is considered to be Devarishi, greatest Devarishi. Right? He is a great devotee of Krishna. He is an eternal spaceman. Among the Devarishis, Krishna says, I am Narada Muni. Among the Gandharvas, just like there are different Devata planets. There is one section of Devatas called Gandharvas. Gandharvas are celestial singers, great singers. Even in our experience also, somebody is a great singer, you say Gana Gandharva, right? We call them as Gandharva. Gandharva means there are Devatas who sing. They have this, they have been blessed with this special power of singing. So they are called for all the different programs in the heavenly planets. They are the singers. So among these Gandharvas, who sing very beautifully, the best singer is called Chitraratha. Right? See, Gandharva is a group of demigods. One set of demigods. So in them, the chief is called Chitraratha, who is a very wonderful singer. Then, and amongst the perfected beings, I am the sage Kapila. Kapila Muni is an incarnation of Lord Krishna, who propounded a philosophy called Sankhya philosophy. In the Bhagavatam, Vedic scriptures, the Sankhya philosophy is explained. Sankhya philosophy means analyzing this material world into its basic ingredients. This material world is composed of 24 elements. In the modern day Western philosophy, it is called metaphysics. But the modern day philosophy is not having the understanding that where from these 24 elements are coming. Whereas Kapila Muni explains how all these are originating from Krishna. Finally, Krishna is the origin of all these elements. Whereas the modern day, they are atheistic. They just say it is all existing. They don't recognize Krishna. So Prabhupada says, like there was Lord Krishna's incarnation, Kapila Muni. In the recent times, there was one more atheistic Kapila. Prabhupada mentions this in different occasions. Atheistic Kapila, who has propounded this atheistic Sankhya philosophy. That is called metaphysics. Next, 27th verse. Uchchaishravasam ashvanam vidhimam amrutodbhavam airavatam gajendranam naranam cha naradhipam. So here, Prabhupada is explaining about a specific pastime known as Samudra Manthana. Once there was a fight between the Devatas and the Asuras. And finally they decided that let's decide about who will get Amruta by churning the ocean, Samudra Manthana. So they had the big Mandara mountain. Lord Krishna himself became his kurma. He became the pivot. And on him the Mandara was kept. And the Vasuki, the serpent, became the churning rod. Or the churning rope. So they had it churning. The first, when this churning began, there was hala. Poison came out. And the poison was drunk by Lord Shiva. And he kept the poison within his neck. That's why he's known as, his neck became blue. That's why he's known as Neelakantha. And all these pastimes happened near Haridwar. Actually, is a place even now there. And after that, from the Amrita, from that churning, before Amrita came, a lot of things came out. And one of the items was this horse by name Uchchaishrava. And also an elephant by name Airavata came. Even Mother Lakshmi was born from that. It is mentioned like that. So like this, different wonderful things came, and some things were taken by Devatas, some things by Danavas. And finally, Dhanvantri brought a pot of nectar, Amrita. Then fight began between Devatas and Asuras. Asuras cunningly snatched that pot of nectar and ran away. That's when Lord Krishna again had to come as Mohini Avatara. And he cheated the Asuras and gave the nectar to all the Devatas. That is the pastime described in the Bhagavad. So like this, see how Krishna is telling so many things in this just 10th chapter. If you go on to get into details, so many things you can understand. And one more thing, nice thing Krishna is telling is about Naranamja Naradipa. Among the the great among the human beings, Naranam, I am the king. Means any king who is ruling the citizens or common people, he is representing me, Krishna says. Naradeva. King is called a Naradeva because king is representative of Krishna. That's how Vedic system was. King doesn't consider himself, oh, I am the boss. I can do whatever I want. No. His consciousness was, just like Prabhupada says, Maharaj Yudhisthira, Maharaj Parikshit, Lord Rama, all great kings, Maharaj Ambarish, they were all understanding that I am servant of Krishna. I am ruling this kingdom on behalf of Krishna. That is the way. Because Krishna is maintaining everything. I am just his representative. This was the mode with which the kings used to rule. That's why they are known as Raja Rishis. Right? The kings are considered to be representatives of God. Whereas the modern day democracy or modern day system of administration, kings consider I am the boss. I can do whatever I want. I am the dictator. Right? And there become so many dictators all over the world now. Right? So like this, whereas the modern day, the Vedic system was different. The king used to consider himself as a representative of God. On behalf of God, Krishna, I am ruling this kingdom. Krishna says, such a king is, I am only that king actually. Naranamti Naradipaha, Naradipam. Verse number 28. Ayudhanam aham vajram, dhenunam asmi kamadhuk, prajanaschasmi kandarpaha, sarpanam asmi vasukihi. Krishna says, the Indra has a weapon by name Vajra. Right? Thunderbolt. Right? So, what you see thunderbolt during rains? Indra is the Devata of rain. He'll give rains to you. Sometimes before rain, there is boo, dam, dum. Thunderbolt comes, no? That Vajra is coming from that instrument he has. Very powerful weapon he has. So that Vajra, Krishna says, I am that Vajra. Thunderbolt. Among the mighty weapons, I represent that thunderbolt or Vajra. And Dhenunam asmi kamadhuk. There is a cow by name Kamadhenu or Surabhi. In our experience of in the world, the cows give limited quantity of milk. Right? A Desi cow gives a maximum of 4 to 5 liters. Whereas the, some other breed, European breed, American breed may give 30, 40 liters. But after that day, that milk is over, means that taken milk, they will not give any milk that day. There are cows, known as Surabhi cows, who will give you unlimited quantity of milk anytime. They are called Surabhi cows. They are in spiritual world. And Krishna is taking care of these cows. Brahma says in Brahma Samhita, Surabhir abhipalayantam. Right? Lakshmi Satasambrava Sevyamalam. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Chintamani Prakashatmasha Kalpa Vriksha. Surabhir abhipalayantam. This Surabhi means the cows in spiritual world who can give unlimited milk. And all the cows in the material world are descendants from the Surabhi cow. So, Krishna says that this Surabhi, this Kamadhenu, actually with Vasishta and Jamadagni, there was a cow by name, especially Jamadagni, one sage, who is Parashurama's father. He had this one Kamadhenu, right? So with that, he used to perform, the milk from that he used to take and perform sacrifices and all the things. So when one king by name, Kartiviryajuna, is all described in Bhagavatam. He had 1,000 arms, right? He came once in the forest, with all his soldiers, for hunting. He happened to come to this ashram of this Jamadagni. And this sage took care of all the soldiers and the king very nicely. And he came to know how this sage in this forest, remote area, is able to take care of our hospitality so well. He became little envious. And finally came to know it is because of this Surabhi cow, Kamadhenu with him. Then he forcibly wanted to take that cow from him. Right? And he took the cow to his kingdom. But when Parashuram came back, Parashuram is again incarnation of Krishna. He came to know that Surabhi has been forcibly taken from his ashram without permission of his father. He went there and he started killing all the soldiers and that king and all the sons of Kartivirajuna. So he started killing. Parashurama has axe and sword, right? He's incarnation to kill. He killed all of them and a lot of further pastimes happened. So like this Surabhi cow, Krishna says, I am that. And next Krishna says, Prajanas Chasmi Kandarpaha. Kandarpa means Cupid, Kamadeva. Right? The attraction between male and female is incited or triggered by this Kamadeva. He shoots a flower arrow between a male and a female, and that's how they get attracted. And this attraction should be dharmic. That's what Krishna says. If you remember, 7th chapter Krishna says, Dharma aviruddha kamosmi. That kama which is as per dharma, I am, Krishna says. So here again, Krishna is confirming that Kandarpa, which is who is known as Cupid, who is the god of procreation, right? Procreation or giving birth to children should be only as per dharma. Krishna says, if that Kandarpa, Cupid, is used only for dharmic way of begetting children, I am that, Krishna says. Right? Sex desire for generation of good children. Good children basically means dharmic way of, with the proper marriage system. Not like, I am living relationship and single mother, single father, all these things, there was no such conception in the Vedic system. Sarpanam asmi Vasuki. I told Vasuki was used as a rope. So that's this celestial serpent, Vasuki. Krishna says, I am that. Sarpa. Next, 29th verse. Anantas chasmi naganam varuno yadasamaham pitrunam aryama chasmi yamaha samyamatamaham. Right? There are different types of, serpents. One type of serpent is, which we understood, Vasuki. One more is called Ananta. They are called Nagas. Naga. They are amongst these all Nagas. Ananta Shesha is the prominent. Celestial Naga serpents. Ananta is the greatest. And amongst the aquatics, Varuna Devata, who is the head of, who is the Devata, who is actually controlling all the aquatics, the different bodies of water. He is the chief. Krishna says, I am that, Varuna Devata. So, how many mentions of different devatas you can see here, you see. Right? Indra, Varuna, Vayu, Marut, Agni, Shiva, Brahma, how many? Brahaspati, So many. See, this world is not simply what we think as, okay, this much only. No. Varieties and different ways it is all being maintained, managed. Right? The aquatics are all controlled by one devata by name Varuna. This is one separate, one personality is there. Right? Then, once people die, if they are not liberated, they go to one loka known as Pitru Loka. And there is a head of this Pitru Loka known as Aryama. Krishna says, I am Aryama, head of this, one of the devata is, one more devata. I am Aryama. Of the departed ancestors, I am the Aryama. And Krishna says, there is a Yamaloka, wherein once we leave this body, if we are not performed any devotion, we'll go there. Krishna decides. There's one personality by name Yamaraj. He is the judge there, superintendent of death. He will judge. He will decide what will happen to you next, what type of body you're going to get, what type of punishment you're going to get. He will decide. Just like in a district, there's a district judge, district magistrate, right? Likewise, the district, the superintendent of death, a judge who will judge our next course of life after this journey of life is over, that is Yamaraj. So Prabhupada says, Yama is actually is that person who is dispenser of law. Court, we go to court, judiciary. He is at head. He decides what will happen to you. The law and order is taken care by Maya Devi, Durga. Police. Police is Maya. And the judiciary is Yamaraj. He will decide what will happen to you. Prabhupada says, it's like, in our system of management, in a district, in a town, or whatever, city, state, country, there is law and order managed by police department. So Durga Devi is police. And there is a judiciary department in the whole universal management that is managed by Yamaraj. Okay. So he's a dispenser of law. Krishna says, I am that Yamaraja. Verse number 30. Prahaladas chasmi daityanam kala kalayatamaham mriganam cha mrigendroham vainatriyascha pakshinam. Among the Daitya demons, I am the devoted Prahalada. Among subduers, I am time. Among the beasts, I am the lion. Among the birds, I am Garuda, the feathered carrier of Vishnu. Right? We understood different daughters of Daksha, Prajapati. The Aditi's sons were called Adityas. And what did Krishna say? Among the Adityas, I am Vamana, Vishnu. And among Daityas, Daitya means Danavas, who are Asuras, atheistic. Even among them, there was one wonderful personality, Prahlada, devotee. Right? Even though Prahlada was born among the Daityas, among the demons, he, from his very childhood, he was a devotee because of the blessing of Narada Muni. Right? So Krishna says, I am Prahlada among Daityas. And I am the time subduer. Nobody can stop time. Nobody can win over time. Time and tide wait for no one. Right? This is what Krishna says. Kala kalayatam aham. Means time is that ultimate subduing principle. Nobody can stop time. Time will go on. Right? Time wears down all things in the material universe. Means all the different things under the influence of time, it will deteriorate. What did Krishna say in the 4th chapter? He says, Sakale neho mahata yoga nashta parantapa. Even this yoga system which I have told to Sun God many millions of years ago, by the influence of time, looks like it is lost. So time influence is such that everything will be lost. You make a nice house, after 20-25 years, it will crumble. Is influence of time. Time, Krishna says next chapter, I am destroyer. Time I am destroying everything. Here again, Krishna is hinting out, Kala kalayatamaham. I am that subduer as time. And we know that in the forest, there is a king in the forest, lion. Mriganam cha mrigendroham. Among all the animals, lion is considered to be the king. And among the birds, Garuda is considered to be the chief, who is the actually carrier of Lord Vishnu. Last verse of the day. Pavana pavatam asmi, Rama shastravatamaham, Yashana makaraschasmi, Shrotasam asmi janhavi. Right. Krishna says, Pavana pavatam asmi. Pavana means the wind. Pavana, wind god. Pavana devata. So, wind god is considered to be the purifier. Means anything which is very dirty, very obnoxious, nice wind blows, everything goes away. So, wind is considered to be the purifier. So, the wind god or the wind is a purifier. Among the purifiers, I am the wind. And among the wielders of weapon, I am Rama. Prabhupada says, Lord Ramachandra of Lord Ramayana, who is an incarnation of Krishna, is the mightiest of warriors. We know how Rama, with all his with his monkey soldiers, how he fought against Ravana and his army, right? And used all his weapons. That way, amongst the wielders of weapons, he is considered to be Rama. One more meaning can be taken as Parashurama also, who was wielding his weapons of the parashu, axe, and the sword. Then Jashana Makaraschasmi. Among the fishes, I am Makara. Makara means shark. Krishna wears a Makara Kundala. You see, right? Krishna Makara Kundala. So Makara means shark. Huge and it's very ferocious, aquatic. So that aquatic, this one, symbolizing that Krishna wears his, as his Vishnu or Krishna wears that as a earring. Just see. Then Shrotasam Asmi Janhavi. Among the rivers, I am Ganga. Ganga is considered to be the greatest river, most sacred river. So like this, whatever we have experienced in this material world, Himalayas or Ganga, right? Or, time, lion, Garuda, banyan tree, right? Like this ocean, and so many things which we are seeing, moon, sun. Krishna is just relating all those things. I am that, I am that, I am that. So whenever we see all these things, we hear of them, should relate and say, oh, Krishna said this in Bhagavad Gita. It is just a tip of an iceberg. Actually, everything is Krishna's energy. That is how we should finally come to that understanding. So with this, we have understood around 44 different opulences of Krishna. Up to, from 20th to 31st verse, 44 opulences are described. Again, we'll continue next session. From 32 onwards up to 39. Another 36 opulences Krishna is going to explain. Total around 80 opulences Krishna is going to explain. Okay? So you go through carefully. There are a lot of connected pastimes mentioned in the scriptures, Puranas, with every word, with everything what Krishna is telling. Carefully go through. We can again discuss whenever required. Okay. So I'll close here, conclude here. Anything anybody want to ask, discuss? We'll take a few questions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Hare Krishna. Yeah, in the ninth verse of this chapter, Prabhuji, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada so beautifully writes about the Bhakti Lata Bija, the seed of devotional service,
yes.
how it is sown in our heart with our coming to Krishna consciousness, and how that very seed is watered with particularly by the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and how it goes through all the way past the coverings of the material universe, all the way up to the feet of the Lord. So I was really touched by this way we could understand it so beautifully.
Yeah. This is what is happening. Actually, Guru, and by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, we get the Bhakti Lata Bija, the seed of devotional service that is implanted in our heart. And just like the seed is put in the ground, and you water, you take care by, providing manure. Likewise, Shravana Kirtana Jale means by hearing and chanting, Prabhupada says. By hearing and chanting, you nurture this seed of devotion. And gradually it grows. It penetrates this universe and goes to the spiritual world, Goloka Vrindavana, and finally takes shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. That is the ultimate purpose, which means our chanting and hearing is that process of watering our bhakti seed. Very good observation. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Anything else? Okay, so I request all of you to go through this chapter, wonderful chapter for meditation, because we see so many things around us, big things, right? So you should always see anything, any glorious thing, any big thing. Actually, Krishna's glory only it is. Different way it is manifested. You should see Krishna in that. That's the point. That was the whole purpose of Arjuna. Arjuna's purpose was how the common man can see Krishna in every step, right? How Krishna can be seen in physical manifestations around us. Because generally people say, can you show me God? Prabhupada says, yes, God is showing himself. Why don't you have eyes to see? Open your eyes and see. That's the point. Simply, go on blaming, I want to see God, but you're closing your eyes. Open, no. If you're like an owl always closing your eyes, what can be done? People say, owl-like people don't open their eyes. No, they only open their eyes in darkness. Nothing can be seen. So don't become an owl, become a human being and then open your eyes and see. So this is all its descriptions, which is meant for ourselves to get convinced. And based on as much as we are convinced, we can start speaking to people and pass on our conviction to them. But they all can take up devotional service seriously. Okay, fine. So let's conclude here. We'll continue our discussions the next session and close this chapter. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Hare Krishna. Jai
Thank
Shri
you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare
Krishna,
Thank you.
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.